Hello, and welcome to the Infront Consulting Group demonstration of the JEE and Java APM management packs. We will start with an overview of the management packs, followed by a demonstration of some of the features and capabilities. The JEE management packs provide two levels of capabilities for monitoring application server instances. Basic monitoring, which is the out-of-the-box configuration and allows us to discover and monitor the basic health of applications, and deep monitoring, which, when BeanSpy is installed on the application server, enables us to pull detailed information about the application server instances, such as applications deployed, number of garbage collections per second, time spent in garbage collection, JVM memory usage and capacity, and so forth. Additionally, we're provided with JEE monitor and rule templates which give us the ability to query mbeans for performance data. This feature provides us quite a bit of flexibility, and I'll demo this more as we keep going. Lastly, we can take our monitoring another step deeper by configuring the Java APM management pack. The Java APM management pack allows us to monitor application KPIs such as exceptions per second and response time, in addition to giving us the capability to collect exceptions and monitor the actual code that is executed and delivered by the application. Okay, let's get to the demo. As you can see here, I have the JEE management packs and Tomcat server management pack imported. Underneath the applications view, you can see that I have several simple applications that have been discovered. The Tomcat and JEE management packs will provide basic discovery and health monitoring of the applications. When we drill into this application, you can see that there's not much here under availability. We have health state availability, which is simply running a query against the mbean and determining status based on a 0 or 1. That's great and very helpful, but the deep monitored configuration is really where we start to get more of the data. Moving down to the deep monitored configurations view, you can see that I have a Linux server. I've already configured deep monitoring on this server by installing BeanSpy, which gives me access to a lot more performance data. Underneath the performance folder, you can see there's several performance views: class loader, garbage collector, heap memory, JIT compiler, and threads. All of these views would be blank if I had not configured deep monitor configurations. As you can see, there is very helpful performance data that's brought in by this configuration. By clicking one of the counters, you have access to the real-time data. This data can be viewed over a time range that is dependent on your operations manager data retention settings. This could be 3 days in a very large environment, 7 days in a lot of mid-size environments, and in a very small environment, maybe even more. I've got 1 day of data up right now. I can extend this. Let's do 3 days, and you can see that I now have these metrics for those 3 days, and if I'm doing some root cause analysis or troubleshooting, this is very helpful. Let's move on to what I feel is probably the most powerful aspect provided out of the box. The JEE application availability monitoring and JEE application performance monitoring templates. What these templates do is give us a way to query any mbean exposed by the application, and in the case of the monitor it based on threshold, and in the case of the performance monitoring template, collect the data so that we can consume it through dashboards, performance views, reports, or whichever method is needed. As you can see here, I have a pre-configured example, first active sessions. My application is not very busy, so active sessions gives me an easy way to manipulate the health of the monitor. I will go through the monitoring wizard so that you're aware of how to configure them. We will not save it because I already have an example, but I think it would be useful to see. I'll go ahead and name this active sessions. Choose my JEE test management pack. All of my configuration today will be done against the first application. Like I said, it's a very simple application and provides me a good platform to generate exceptions and monitors against. Select my Linux server and click Browse, and I will go ahead and run the query, which will pull all available data, and as you can see, it is quite a bit, and can be difficult to sort through manually. So I will use the filter. Let's find the first application and expand properties, and there's active sessions. So I'll select this, and on the health state page, we're going to build our health expressions. We'll start off with the healthy state. We'll choose active sessions and equals 0. If there is no active sessions, we have a healthy monitor. For a warning state, once again, I'll choose active sessions and we'll make a warning 1 session. For a critical, we will add greater than 1. So that's pretty straightforward. Hit next. We can put obviously you could do more with this. You could use properties to populate data, but for the purposes of the demo, we'll keep it simple. And here's we would hit create and we would have our monitor. It's that simple. I'm going to cancel it because I already have one. But let's go ahead. Let's just reconnect and create a session. Now as we move on through this demonstration, at some point we should see our monitor change to warning. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at the performance. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at the JEE application performance monitoring template. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at the JEE application performance monitoring template. Once again, I'll name this active sessions. Just to follow best practices, let's add collection. We'll target first again. The same process here. Choose the server and run the query. Apply my filter. Let's find the first application again. Expand properties. And hit next. And as you can see here, all we need to do is pick our M-beam. You can see the current value is 1. Hit next and create, and we have our performance collection rule. Let's go back to monitoring. So it looks like we have not changed to warning yet. Sometimes this is a demo environment, it can be a little slow. So let's move on, and we'll come back and check that. As you can see here, I have my performance rule, which I've named first perf test, that I can now access my active session data. Now, I had pre-configured this, so I already have data that we can look at. And as you can see, it's pretty helpful. I can see when my alerts were logged. I can see the different data over the past, I believe right now we are doing 1 day. And I can extend this. Let's do 4 days. And there I have it. And I can do this with any M-beam that's exposed, which can be very powerful. While we're in this view, let's move on to the Java APM aspect. As you can see here, I have several counters: performance events per second, average request time, monitored requests per second, and exception events per second. These counters are provided by the APM agent. If I did not have Java APM installed, these would not be there. Once again, I've had the agent pre-configured for quite some time, so you can see that I have data. In addition to the performance counters, there we go, we're a warning. So you can see now that the monitor has changed to a warning. And if I drill into the M-beams here, I can see that my active sessions are at 1. So our monitor is working as expected. Our performance collection rule is collecting data. And it's really quite simple to configure this and give yourself a lot of data to work with. Okay, back to APM. Now that I have the APM agent configured, when I open Health Explorer, under Performance, you can see that I have 5 monitors here. Once again, these would not be accessible without APM installed. Out of the box, they would all be uninitialized, but I've gone ahead and enabled 3 of them for demonstration purposes. I have my average response time monitor, my exceptions per second monitor, and my performance per second monitor, which can be very helpful for monitoring application performance. Another feature of Java APM, and probably one of the cooler features, is the use of Application Diagnostics, APM, to catch Java exceptions. As you can see here, I've triggered quite a few exceptions. Very, very basic application, very basic exceptions, but it does give an idea of what you'll get with this feature. Let's load the exception. And as you can see here, I have quite a bit of data. This is a simple exception that was thrown because I input a string instead of an integer. And I can dig through the stack trace all the way through the lines of code to see where exactly my issue occurred. You can see here the servlet exception. Once again, I can dig into each of these lines to get very detailed data on the application exception. Additionally, we have other options that Application Diagnostics provides. We have performance counters with dashboard views, very detailed information here. We can go back and look at the actual computer itself and get some data based on this as well. Here we have our monitored applications, monitored processes, trend reports, and you can see very helpful data if we're going to be troubleshooting our applications. Another feature available to us is the Application Advisor console. Application Advisor gives us access to a great deal of reports that can be very helpful for troubleshooting and analysis. Let's go ahead and choose a report. For the purposes of the demo, let's choose Application Daily Activity. I'll go ahead and choose my application, which in this case is first, and hit OK. Here you can see I have my event count history, request count history, request time history, CPU, I have memory usage, I/O history, all very useful performance indicators. A lot of these are unpopulated in this report because the application is not being used, but if it were, we would be able to provide quite a bit of data for our teams using this tool. And that will do it for the JEE Management Pack demonstration. Thank you very much for joining us.